Belgrade kids had a special guest at lunch today. Senator Jon Tester shared a meal with fourth graders at Saddle Peak Elementary.
We wanted to see the school lunch program because, quite frankly, making sure that kids have access to food and are not hungry helps with learning conditions in the classrooms.
You kind of referenced how Montana does fairly well in managing its budget. So can you kind of talk about what are some key factors that you look at from Montana State and how you're going to ask Congress to mirror that?
Well, what we do in Montana and what the state legislature does and what the governor does is they make tough decisions. And that's what we have to do at the federal level. You have to prioritize how money is being spent, prioritize how money is going to be coming in, use it to move the economy forward in a way that makes sense for a rural state like Montana. Do the same thing at the federal level.
Putting money behind great business ideas just as possible in small-town Montana as it is in the Silicon Valley is one of the messages delivered by Montana Senior Senator Jon Tester at today's Small Business Summit here in Billings. The conference at MSUB brought together people with business plans and with organizations willing to invest. That investment could come from traditional banks or venture capitalists, or it might come from crowdsourcing, which allows the general public to help finance business plans.
Ultimately, you know, this is about people living the American dream and being able to make a living and support their family, and small business is the basis for that in this state.
Now, also included in President Obama's proposal, there was quite a big chunk of change allocated to Malmstrom Air Force Base. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, and we had Secretary James in front of the Appropriations Committee last week, and we talked about Malmstrom and the Air Guard in particular. And the fact is that there's money for a missile defense dispatch facility that's going to help when the new Huey helicopters come in, hopefully before 2019. And then there's money for avionics for the C-130s at the Air Guard. That's important because if those avionics aren't updated, they aren't going to be able to fly past 2020.
Brian Springer has worked at this airport for nearly 20 years. Since 2009, he's been at the helm as airport director. Today, Senator Jon Tester visited with Springer talking about FAA reauthorization and the airport's future.
I think that's what it's about, is enabling some of these smaller airports to be able to entice other airlines to come to create more competition and help drive airfares down and provide better service.
In the coming weeks, Springer will be keeping close tabs on the bill, but is confident with Senator Tester's support.
Having good people in Washington makes a lot of difference for places like Montana.
Justice Antonin Scalia was a reliably conservative vote on the high court. He died Saturday. Montana's 2 U.S. senators are split on whether the Senate should act to fill the spot.
To just say no right out of the chute and say we're not going to do anything, we're going to leave it to the next president, I think just is not doing our job in the United States Senate. And to have the president not do his job would be also, I think, almost criminal.